Hello to everyone. This is Viewpoint on Noyan Tapan TV, and I am Benyamin Poghosyan. Today we will discuss the ongoing blockade of Artsakh by Azerbaijan. On December 12th, Azerbaijan imposed a blockade on Artsakh using the pretext of ecological concerns. The so-called ecological activists closed the only road which connects Nagorno-Karabakh with Armenian outside world. During the first days, they put some ecological claims, arguing that there are some problems or there are some violation of international standards on ecology during the exploitation of mines in Nagorno-Karabakh Republic. However, very soon, the demand started to be changed. Now, the so-called Azerbaijani ecologues and environmental activists put purely political demands, calling for the establishment of the Azerbaijani checkpoint on Lachin corridor, and also demanding the State Minister of Nagorno-Karabakh Republic, Ruben Vartanyan, to leave Nagorno-Karabakh. Already more than 2 weeks, Artsakh is on the blockade. The humanitarian crisis is really brewing there. Definitely, the appointment of Ruben Vartanyan as the State Minister of Artsakh is used by Azerbaijan as a pretext to launch these activities. Since the end of Second Nagorno-Karabakh War in November 2020, Azerbaijan has very clear strategy to do everything to reduce numbers of Armenians in the Nagorno-Karabakh Republic. And by doing so, they are moving forward based on the Stalinist era assumption, no people, no problems. And they also are looking to the example of Nakhchivan, another Armenian territory which was put under Azerbaijani control by the 1921 Bolshevik Russia and Kemalist Turkey agreement. At that time, more than 50% of population of Nakhchivan were Armenians. However, during the approximately 70 years of Soviet Azerbaijan rule, Azerbaijan managed to force out all Armenians from Nakhchivan, and in January 1988, the last Armenians left Nakhchivan. So, from Azerbaijani perspective, no Armenians, no problems. They managed to kick out all Armenians from Nakhchivan, and there are no problems for Azerbaijan in Nakhchivan. They failed to kick out Armenians from Nagorno-Karabakh. Also, they put a lot of efforts to reach that goal during Soviet rule, but they failed it, and from Azerbaijani perspective, this failure resulted in the Nagorno-Karabakh movement, then the declaration of independence of Nagorno-Karabakh Republic, and the start of the conflict. So, Azerbaijani perception is very clear to do everything to push Armenians out of Nagorno-Karabakh Republic. They are using different tactics on this, starting from physically shooting civilians who are involved in agricultural works, and ending with imposing the blockade, cutting off the gas supplies. They did it once in March 2022. Then they cut the gas supplies for several days during the early days of the blockade. But all these are tools. The strategic goal is very clear, and definitely Azerbaijan may use different pretexts to justify its actions. It could be the appointment of Ruben Vartanyan as a state minister. It could be appointment of another person as a state minister of Nagorno-Karabakh Republic. It could be so-called environmental concerns. It could be different other reasons. But the strategy and the goal is very clear: to do everything to have zero Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh, or if it's not possible, to do everything to have few Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh. But we should also understand that the situation in Nagorno-Karabakh has not only the local perspectives, like the perspective from Azerbaijani point of view, or the perspective how to serve Azerbaijani interests, but it also has a regional perspective. By putting a blockade, and imposing a blockade on Nagorno-Karabakh and closing the Lachin corridor, Azerbaijan also puts pressure on Russia. We all know that Russia, as a signatory of the November 10, 2020 statement, is one of the three guarantors, along with Armenia and Azerbaijan, of the implementation of the procedures of the November 10 statement. Thus, by blocking the Lachin corridor, Azerbaijan tries to force Russia to make some actions, which then will definitely give Azerbaijan another a pretext to put more pressure both on Russia and also on Nagorno-Karabakh Armenians. So from Azerbaijani perspective, if there will be clashes between Russian peacekeepers and so-called environmental activists, Azerbaijan might use this to deploy Azerbaijani troops along Lachin corridor and put much more pressure on Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh. Meanwhile, the ongoing war in Ukraine and real or perceived weakness of Russia is also makes Azerbaijan more and more bolder. From Azerbaijani perspective, Russia is weak, which means that Russia is not able to do what it could do before the February 2022. And that Azerbaijan and probably also Turkey thought that okay, because of Russia weak, and also because Russia needs cooperation with Turkey to circumvent sanctions, to establish GovHub and many other issues, then Russia most probably will tolerate what Azerbaijan and Turkey is doing in South Caucasus. So the situation is really very complicated. And from Armenian perspective, Armenia first of all should do everything to avoid any clashes between Armenians and Azerbaijanis. Because Azerbaijan also now are waiting that Armenians will make some actions to open the road by force, which will allow again Azerbaijan this time not to deploy so-called fake environmentalists, but to deploy real troops on Lachin corridor and de facto control the corridor and finish with the issue of Nagorno-Karabakh. So first of all, Armenians should avoid any clashes with Azerbaijanis. Second, it's not of Armenian interest if there will be clashes between Russian peacekeepers and Azerbaijani protesters, because again, this will give Azerbaijani, in quotes, moral justification to this time use troops along the Lachin corridor. But then issue may arise, okay, but what can Armenia do? Definitely, issue number one, Armenia should continue to work with the international community to put pressure on Azerbaijan, arguing that regardless of the reasons or regardless of the pretexts, no country has a right to bring more than 100,000 people to the real danger of starvation. But of course, we all understand that in the current geopolitical mess and the global geopolitical mess, this argument may not work. So another option is to provide the necessary basic staples, foods and other necessary goods to Nagorno-Karabakh. And because Azerbaijan closed the door, one of the options here could be to use the Russian military helicopters, which are flying from Armenia to Nagorno-Karabakh Republic, to bring additional food and other basic stuff to Nagorno-Karabakh. Of course, this is also as a part of broader Azerbaijani game to put pressure on Armenia and force Armenia to accept Azerbaijani demands, to accept that no Nagorno-Karabakh exists anymore, and also to provide so-called Zangezur corridor to Azerbaijan. The problem is here that if Armenia will accept the first demand of Azerbaijan and will agree that there is no Nagorno-Karabakh, there are no guarantees that Azerbaijan will not continue to demand the establishment of Zangezur corridor and also other demands. Just a few days ago, Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev made new statements about territorial claims toward Republic of Armenia, claiming that almost all territory of Republic of Armenia, including capital Yerevan, were so-called Azerbaijan historical lands, that it was treason and also the crime that Yerevan was given to Republic of Armenia, and some other statements which clearly indicate that Azerbaijan has territorial claims also towards Republic of Armenia, and Azerbaijan will not be satisfied only by digesting Nagorno-Karabakh Republic. After Nagorno-Karabakh Republic, they will come also after Armenia, which means that from any perspective, starting from humanistic perspective and ending with pure geopolitical perspectives, Armenia should do everything to keep Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh, because by thus, at least Azerbaijan will have to spend or waste some resources on Nagorno-Karabakh and not to concentrate all its efforts to bring down Republic of Armenia. This is all for now. Next time we will meet in 2023.